Desiree Ray Wise, spiritual healing coach, helping you to heal your relationship with self to heal your relationship with others. Listen, so y'all know I've been doing the higher self transmission readings, and whenever I see or hear multiple narratives showing up in different people's readings, and if the message overall really resonates with me as I'm giving it, that to me is symbolic of a collective consciousness necessary, thing that we need to talk about. And so one of the things that was coming up so heavily, a lot in the readings that I've been doing, is the power of intuition and how necessary our intuition is, right? And how our intuition actually develops more and more and more and more. And I'm like, okay, spirit. And basically what my intuition or what the collective consciousness is really coming through with is that the intuition is developed and it speaks through experience, right? The intuition is developed and it speaks through experience. And that's a multi-layered, multi-dimensional thing. Okay, here's what I mean. On the first layer, right, the intuition speaks through experience in that it helps us to recall something that happened in the past in order for us to respond accordingly in the present. So it will remind us of a past experience that we've had in the past. And from that experience, we draw insight into what it is we're supposed to do, how it is we're supposed to move. Like, it educates us, and it's not just through our own experiences, but it's through the experience of other people. It's through stories that we've heard, it's through movies that we watched. Like, we're constantly absorbing into us experiences, and these experiences is literally the very vessel that our higher selves gets to give us a sense into what we're actually experiencing and what it is we need to do and move. Peace, Shakila. Hey, sis. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So, my spirit team and the collective consciousness, right? Spirit was communicating to me that one of the reasons why we have to release negative attachments to our past experiences is because when we still hold judgment over our past experiences, it can create delay or distraction or detour for our higher self, our intuition, to actually communicate to us. It's almost like um, an aspect of our understanding is abstract from us or apart from us, or we can't use it to its fullest capacity when we are in feelings like guilt, right? Or when we are in feelings like unforgiveness or criticism. When we believe that our experiences were bad, our intuition, our spirit team can't use those experiences to give us the insight, the revelation, the healing, the transformation that we need. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down for those of y'all who are really here with me? Like, our intuition helps us to understand what we are experiencing in the present from our past. The intuition is truly a mechanism of the subconscious mind because the subconscious mind has access to everything and all things, from present to past to future. It's the original intelligence. So, not only does our intuition really guide us from the experiences we've had in this particular lifetime, our intuition also has access to past lifetimes, which is a part of why we can feel a connection to a person, why we could feel a kindredness to a person, why we could feel a genuine love, right? Is all from that past life experience, right? And that experience becomes a part of what our higher self or what our intuition uses to communicate. Absolutely, it is the Akashic Records, 100%. But as I was doing readings, my spirit team was just kind of showing me, and the collective consciousness was kind of showing me, like, so let me give you the example. So when I'm doing readings for people, which they're so fire, right? I pray over every single reading. And when I tell you the things that I hear, the levels of healing and transformation that I receive that I have to share with people, it be so like, whoa, like amazing. And I don't mean that in like, you are the queen of Zamunda. Like, I don't mean it in that way, even though we do see things like that. But I'm just talking about the levels of healing and transformation. And so, when I'm doing these readings, I start to just hear stuff and see stuff, and spirit just reveals things to me that maybe it reveals things to me through things that I've observed before, right? So it may show me an image of something I've seen before. I may hear words of something I experienced or something I've just been a witness to. And that's how I'm able to say, okay, sister, okay, brother, this is what's happening, right? So our intuition just really, our higher selves in this space and time really just wants us to understand that every experience, whether it was joyful or trauma filled, is so valuable to us in the present moment. And so if we could learn to embrace even our own fuck ups, right? And even the mishaps or the missteps of other people regarding us, if we could just have grace and honor and appreciation for those moments, our intuition could use them so much more in order to give us power in the present. And so, my little quick message to you all, you know, is just that when we are triggered, when emotion, rises up, your intuition is surely right after that going to communicate. It's impossible for it not to, because spiritually, when we are experiencing these emotions, we understand that our higher self, right, the all knowing version of us, understands that we are in some sort of fear, some sort of hurt, we're experiencing something. And our higher self wants us to overcome these things. Our higher self wants us to transcend our traumas. And so every opportunity, every time we're challenged, our higher self says, all right, let me remind you of this. Let me give you that. Let me give you the right and the option to choose how you're going to respond in this moment. And listen, and when you find yourself responding to a trigger in a trauma response, I even got to change the word because we're not actually responding, we're actually reacting, right? But when we find ourselves in those moments, our higher self wants to give us the opportunity to pick the path, to pick the route that is most aligned with our highest timeline, our highest vibration, our greatest manifestation, and our greatest embodiment of ourselves. And so the only way we access that is through conscious, deliberate choice. So, what type of connection to God, to the source, to our higher selves would we have if we couldn't choose, right? And if it didn't give us access to that, that just wouldn't make sense as a reality, right? So that's my quick message for y'all for this time right now, right? I know there are a lot of planetary stuff going on, Mercury retrogrades, and for me, you guys know astrology is like a calendar, right? Astrology is literally a calendar. And for me, Leo season is always super heightened energy, super heightened emotional and spiritual energy for me. So I'm so grateful that I was able to do the readings during this time, because I was able to gain so much insight in what I was giving to other people that is so applicable to my own life, right? And so, yeah, this is a beautiful space and time for us to pay attention to how we're feeling, how we're responding, how we're reacting, and make sure that we put ourselves in a space that our intuition can truly reveal to us how and which we are meant to move in order for us to be our best selves. Okay? Peace and love, family. I hope that y'all have been enjoying this summer. I hope that y'all's kids are safe and enjoying school. Okay? I'm actually in the car rider line right now. And, every time school starts, it's just a new energy, a new freshness. And so I'm just like, all right, we're back into the swing of it. I hope anybody that's a parent, may your child have a blessed and prosperous, um, growth-filled school year. Okay? All right, fam. Peace and love. I'll talk to y'all later.